I just dropped Mom off at La Aurora International Airport, right on schedule. Her Guatemalan adventure has come to a close, and she's eager to return home to Atlanta, heart full of memories. As for me, the journey continues. Next stop, Panajachel and the mystical shores of Lake Atitlan. Time to embrace the long day ahead. Leaving Guatemala City, we passed through neighborhoods and suburbs, experiencing the city's vibrant, chaotic energy. The journey to the lake offers a mix of urban and scenic landscapes, gradually transitioning from bustling city life to serene mountain views. The urban sprawl fades, replaced by wide open landscapes. There are many ways to reach the lake. You can take full responsibility and drive yourself, hop on a colorful chicken bus like a local, join fellow travelers in a shared shuttle, or arrange private transport for a more comfortable ride. Whatever option you choose, prepare to settle in. The journey from Guatemala City to Panajachel takes at least 3 hours, winding through mountains and changing landscapes as you make your way toward the picturesque shores of Lake Atitlan. I love the idea of driving myself, at least in theory. There's a certain freedom in setting my own pace, choosing when to pause, when to wander, and when to simply linger. It's the kind of autonomy I thrive on. But in practice, I'd rather not be burdened with the responsibilities. After all, this is meant to be a vacation. The roads here are full of surprises, like the sudden, unmarked speed bumps that jolt you without warning. Navigating them requires local knowledge, or else you risk damaging the car with every unsuspecting bump. Honestly, I just want to sit back, gaze out the window, let an audiobook carry me away, and enjoy the journey without worrying about the logistics. That, to me, feels like luxury. Chicken buses are by far the most affordable option for getting around. Just $10 for a journey that spans half the country. These vividly painted, repurposed U.S. school buses serve as the lifeblood of Guatemala's public transportation system. Known for their vibrant energy, tightly packed crowds, and daring drivers. Often carrying not just passengers, but cargo ranging from sacks of produce to farm animals. They're an iconic fixture of everyday Guatemalan life. That said, they come with more than a few caveats. Because chicken buses stop in nearly every town along the route, travel time can easily double. To compensate, drivers are known to push the limits, flying down winding mountain roads at alarming speeds. Several Guatemalans have warned me against taking one, citing serious safety concerns. Buses tipping over isn't unheard of on the winding road to Lake Atitlan. There's no way I'm spending 6 hours squeezed into a bus with livestock and white-knuckle driving. I love animals, but not as seatmates. And at those speeds, I'd likely arrive carsick if I arrived at all. Charming as they are from a distance, this is one local experience I'm content to skip. Shared transport vans are the most budget-friendly option for tourists, typically costing around $25. It's the route most travelers take. But the thought of being crammed into an 8-passenger van, shoulder to shoulder with strangers and their luggage, swaying through serpentine mountain roads for 3 straight hours, feels less like a vacation adventure and more like a uniquely curated form of torture. By process of elimination, you've probably guessed it. The only child in me went ahead and hired a private driver to take me to the lake. It's a $150 to $200 indulgence, but worth every penny for the promise of personal space and a peaceful 3-hour ride. No maps, no farm animals, no mystery speed bumps, nobody too close for comfort, just me, the open road, and a little peace and serenity. The road climbs steadily into Guatemala's western highlands, unfolding a breathtaking panorama of emerald hills, misty valleys, and meticulously terraced farms. This region, often hailed as one of Central America's most stunning landscapes, is a striking blend of rugged terrain, lush vegetation, and commanding volcanic peaks that pierce the sky. Terraced fields cling to the slopes like intricate embroidery, stitched in shades of green and earthen brown. Here, corn, beans, and coffee flourish, sustained by rich volcanic soil and cooler mountain air. The coffee plantations are particularly striking, their neatly aligned rows cascading down the hillsides, basking in the highland sun. Along the way, the rhythm of rural life unfolds. Locals tread the roadside paths, carrying bundles to market or tending to crops. Quiet scenes that echo a timeless connection to the land. The contrast between the chaotic pulse of Guatemala City and the gentle pace of the countryside is profound, turning the journey into something deeply reflective. Villages appear and disappear like mirages in the folds of the land. Clusters of homes and construction zones, their markets alive with color and chatter. Life here pulses with a quiet strength, rooted in community and tradition. Yet, these winding mountain roads are not for the faint of heart. Sharp curves, sudden drops, and dizzying heights demand an experienced driver and an empty stomach. Temperatures drop noticeably with elevation, and I find myself grateful for the sun's rare but welcome warmth when it slips past the clouds. When the skies occasionally clear, the views are simply spectacular. Each bend in the road unveils a new masterpiece. Valleys laced with silver rivers. Hills stitched with farms and forest. And distant peaks standing watch over it all. When the sky finally clears, I can feel it in my chest. We must be near. The clouds part to reveal a piercing, brilliant blue that stretches endlessly overhead, illuminating the landscape in crisp, golden light. We continue winding through small mountain villages, their brightly painted homes clinging to the hillsides. But the terraced farms have disappeared. In their place, the earth erupts in wild, untamed beauty. The vegetation is thicker now, almost jungle-like. The green, deeper and more intense. Ferns spill over the roadside, and trees arch overhead, their branches heavy with moss and blossoms. Color bursts from the hillsides. Crimson hibiscus, golden marigolds, delicate purple orchids swaying in the breeze. It's as if the land itself is blooming in anticipation. Then, the descent begins. The road narrows and coils sharply, hugging steep cliffs that drop away into nothingness. Each curve reveals fleeting, heart-stopping glimpses of Lake Atitlan, its surface a luminous sheet of sapphire, glinting in the sunlight far below. Volcanoes rise in the distance, their silhouettes etched against the sky like guardians of the lake. It's a moment that steals your breath, not just from the altitude or the curves, but from the sheer, staggering beauty. A dramatic, unforgettable finale to the journey through the soul-stirring highlands of Guatemala. At the base of the mountains, the road spills into a town that seems to stretch on endlessly. No welcome sign, no official marker. Yet somehow I know with quiet certainty, we've arrived in Panajachel, the bustling gateway to Lake Atitlan. Once the cradle of the lake's earliest human settlements, it may not be the largest village on the water's edge, but it's undeniably the most traveled. For anyone journeying from Guatemala City or Antigua, this is where the wheels stop turning and the lake adventure truly begins. Though it's a world apart from the frenetic rhythm of the country's capital, the energy here is unmistakable. The pace quickens. Cars and tuk-tuks weave through the streets, and the air hums with movement and possibility. Restaurants line the main road, their signs swinging in the breeze. Shops spill onto sidewalks with colorful textiles, woven bags, and wooden masks. A large market thrums with life, locals haggling, travelers wandering, the scent of spices and street food mingling in the air. Tour operators advertise trips across the lake and beyond, while churches, both modest and grand, stand as quiet anchors in the flow of daily life. Unlike the quieter lakeside villages, Panajachel boasts working ATMs, a small but important convenience that's hard to come by in the more remote corners of the region. Tuk-tuks dart by in every direction, more than just a novelty here. They're essential, woven into the rhythm of local life. It's easy to see why so many travelers choose to stay here, using it as a base to explore the rest of the lake. But not me. My journey isn't ending here. It's just shifting. I'm headed across the water, beyond the busy streets and tourist stalls, toward a quieter village where the soul of the lake still whispers. My driver dropped me off as close to the dock as a vehicle could manage, the narrow, sloping road eventually giving way to foot traffic and lake-bound energy. The dock area buzzed with life. Tourists rolling suitcases, locals weaving through the crowd with practiced ease, vendors calling out softly from shaded stalls. The scent of the lake water mingled with street food and diesel from waiting boats. As if on cue, a local man appeared near the roadside. No words spoken, just a warm nod, as though this quiet exchange were part of the daily rhythm here. He motioned to my luggage with a practiced hand, pointed to the boats, and began leading the way. There was no set price. He seemed genuinely content to accept whatever I offered. I handed him 25 quetzales, about $3, and felt glad to support someone who made this chaotic moment feel effortless. As I followed him down the uneven path toward the dock, the view finally opened up before me unobstructed. For the first time, I saw the lake in full. And to call it a lake suddenly felt wrong. This was no gentle pond tucked in the hills. This was a vast, shimmering expanse that stretched to the horizon like a highland sea, framed by towering volcanoes and rolling green cliffs. The sun scattered diamonds across the surface, light dancing in every direction. It was more than beautiful. It was awe-inspiring, humbling, a mirror to the sky, and perhaps a mirror to the soul. To cross the lake, one travels by boat. Small, narrow vessels known as lanchas that glide across the water like shuttles between worlds. Tourists pay more than locals for these rides, which feels entirely fair. For many residents, these boats are not a novelty, but a daily necessity, woven into the fabric of life here. And most are far from wealthy. A shared lancha costs tourists about 25 quetzales, roughly $3, while a private ride can be arranged for around 350 quetzales, or close to $50. In true only child fashion, I opted for the private route. The thought of being wedged between strangers, shoulder to shoulder, as the boat made multiple stops at villages along the way, held little appeal. In shared boats, luggage is typically stowed precariously on the roof to maximize seating, a detail that made me uneasy. So, I arranged my captain in advance, a man named Andres, recommended by a website. When I arrived, however, the man greeting me introduced himself as Andres's much younger brother, cheerful, confident, and eager to help. I trusted the handoff. As it would turn out, Andres himself would come to my rescue more than once during my stay, proving that local connections, like the lake's currents, run deeper than they first appear. Lake Atitlan is often hailed as one of the most beautiful lakes in the world. And once you lay eyes on it, there's no questioning why. Cradled by 3 majestic volcanoes and framed by steep, verdant hills, its shimmering waters stretch wide and deep, reflecting sky and stone in equal measure. Along its shores, a constellation of indigenous Mayan villages offer a vibrant tapestry of cultures, each with its own distinct rhythm and soul. San Pedro pulses with the energy of backpackers and nightlife. San Juan is a haven for artists, its walls adorned with murals and galleries. But I'm bound across the lake to San Marcos La Laguna, the serene bohemian village known for its spiritual, free-spirited energy. Lake Atitlan is more than just a place of beauty. It's a geological wonder. Born from a volcanic eruption so cataclysmic it caused the original volcano to collapse nearly 100,000 years ago. The explosion sent ash as far as Florida. Over time, rivers filled the massive crater, creating the deepest lake in Central America. The three volcanoes that surround it now, San Pedro, Atitlán, and Toliman, stand like silent sentinels, guarding the lake's stillness and secrets. Today, Atitlán is a sanctuary for nature lovers and adventurers alike. Hiking, kayaking, swimming, and volcano trekking draw travelers from around the globe. The biodiversity here is staggering, the views unforgettable. A paradise for photographers, dreamers, and seekers. It's my wish that everyone could experience the lake as I first did, gliding silently across its vast surface, with only the sounds of water lapping against the boat and the occasional bird call echoing through the air. A quick pro tip before I go: sit at the back of the lancha, like the locals do. The waves can be unforgiving, and tourists who sit up front often disembark with sore backsides and wind-blown regrets. I'll see you in San Marcos La Laguna. When the lancha docks in San Marcos La Laguna, you step straight onto the village's vibrant artery, the aptly named Hippie Highway. This pedestrian path is more than just a thoroughfare. It feels like the soul of the village itself. Lined with colorful murals, fragrant cafes, artisan shops, and spaces dedicated to healing and creativity, it offers a warm, open embrace to all who wander through. It's a place where incense drifts on the breeze, where yoga mats and laughter are equally abundant, and where wellness, community, and artistic expression effortlessly intertwine. For anyone seeking connection, tranquility, or a gentle shift in perspective, the Hippie Highway is a must. My captain's younger brother, kind and unhurried, carried my luggage the length of the path, weaving through locals and travelers alike. On the dock, another young man appeared, Danny. Barely more than a tween, he offered his assistance with an ease that suggested this was his daily rhythm. He's a familiar figure here, lingering by the boats to help newcomers with bags, directions, or tours. I would come to see him many times over the course of my stay. Each time, he greeted me with a cheerful, "Hola, mi amiga," and I'd respond with a fond, "Hey, Danny," our short exchange becoming something of a ritual. While there are many residences close to the Hippie Highway, my accommodation lay tucked into the hillside above, called Barrio Dos, or Neighborhood 2. From the end of the Hippie Highway, there are two ways to reach it: on foot or by tuk-tuk. With luggage in tow and a steep incline ahead, I naturally opted for the tuk-tuk, and Danny, of course, came along. The main road through San Marcos can accommodate cars and two-way traffic. The access road to Barrio Dos is narrow, barely wide enough for the three-wheeled tuk-tuk to navigate, and certainly not built with cars in mind. When we reached the nearest point to my accommodation, the driver pulled over, stepped out without hesitation, and helped carry my bags down a narrow footpath to the gate of my apartment. For the extra effort, he asked 40 quetzales, a reasonable fee for the climb. A typical ride would cost anywhere from 10 to 25 quetzales. Danny followed us down, lingering by the gate as we wrapped up the final stretch of the journey. We spent several minutes casually negotiating his fee, though in truth, there was little haggling. I ended up paying him more than the tuk-tuk driver, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I am happy to support the people who bring this place to life, who meet travelers with generosity, who carry bags and offer directions, and who, like Danny, say, "Hola, mi amiga," as if you've always belonged. My apartment complex redefines the meaning of secure. Layer upon layer of access points stand between the outside world and my door. Multiple gates, each demanding its own security code, with steep staircases bridging the distance between them, like checkpoints on a mountain path. Reaching the top is no small feat. It's a climb, both literal and symbolic. Though every level houses its own enclave of residents, I dwell in the penthouse loft, perched above it all. And the ascent is worth every step. From this vantage point, the view is nothing short of breathtaking. Perhaps the most awe-inspiring panorama I've ever witnessed from a balcony. My accommodation offers everything I need and most of what I could wish for. The kitchen is equipped with essentials, including a fridge, and opens into an elongated living room, an ideal space for yoga, thoughtfully complemented by the host's provision of mats. Bathed in natural light, the space rarely calls for artificial illumination. The main bedroom features a comfortable queen-sized bed. The bathroom boasts a shower and a jacuzzi tub, adding a touch of luxury. In the living area, a sofa and an additional bed with privacy curtains offer extra comfort and flexibility. Tucked away like a secret nook, there's a second, closet-sized bedroom with a twin bed, perfect for quiet solitude. There's also a nifty half bath to complement the spare bedroom.
So after a harrowing journey, I have finally arrived to my apartment in San Marcos La Laguna. It meets all of my expectations. This place is absolutely beautiful, and it looks just like the pictures, which is the reason why I chose it. It's got panoramic views, and I can see volcanoes. Like, there are volcanoes here. I absolutely love it. I could not ask for more. The apartment is large and spacious, which means I can get some yoga done in there, which I've been missing so far on my trip here. So I'm glad that I can finally get back into the swing of that. And then every morning I'm gonna come out here with some tea and just gaze at this beautiful, beautiful natural scenery. So I picked this apartment because of the reviews of it and because of the pictures. I think when you come here, you need to be very careful about where you choose to stay. Look at the pictures, read the reviews, because some of the places are super, super eco-friendly. And I consider myself to be somewhat of an environmentalist, but like, for example, there were places where the bathroom and the kitchen were outside. So in the middle of the night, if I have to go, I would, I don't know, be fighting spiders and things just to get to the bathroom. That's not for me. I don't plan on doing any cooking. I wouldn't mind cooking outside, but that's not too much of a problem, but it's just not for me. That's not me, that's not ideal. And there are also places where, if you look at the pictures, you can see where the walls are not walls. They're like, I don't know, reeds or bamboo. And it would be very easy for spiders or scorpions or whatever else is out here, because everything imaginable is out here, just to get right on in there and be in your apartment. And that's not okay with me. So I like the fact that this is up high. There are gonna be fewer bugs up high. Do keep in mind, it kind of hit me on the boat ride over here as the water was splashing me. This is a freshwater lake. This is not the ocean, although it looks like an ocean. This is a freshwater lake, so that means that there are a lot of mosquitoes here. And I didn't want to be too close to the lake because, in my opinion, the closer you are to the water, the more mosquitoes you're going to have to deal with. So anyway, this place just checked off all the boxes for me. And I'm just dumbfounded at what I'm looking at. It's just beyond. It's one thing to look at the pictures. It's something completely different to see it yourself. Yeah, it's unreal. It's unreal. So after I got off the dock, my boat captain helped me with my luggage, and then this little kid came up to help me as well. And he was doing his best to speak English, and clearly he's got a hustle going on. So I didn't want him to take my stuff because I felt like my bags were heavier than he was, but he was very insistent about helping. So I let him do it. He went on, took it, and then we got to the door of the apartment, and he was like trying to negotiate his price. And I respect that. I respect the hustle. He wanted 100 quetzales. I told him I would give him 50, so we settled on 50. Respect the hustle, mad respect for the hustle. So I need to go somewhere and get some change so I can go back to the dock and pay this little kid because he's absolutely adorable. And then it's time for food and it's time for rest. This place is clearly a place of healing, and I could use that right about now.
This is exciting. A year of planning has finally paid off, and now I get to soak in the beauty and energy of Lake Atitlan. Between yoga, exploring, and just living in the moment, I will make the most of every day. Stay curious, be inspired, find freedom, wander elsewhere. I'll see you in the next one. What mode of transport would you use to get to Lake Atitlan? Comment below. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. Drop a comment or respond to the prompt below.